4 Raptors just made their case for roster spots. One didn't. Today we'll talk about training camp decisions, full roster spots, two-way spots, what the Summer League actually means, and the standouts from the Summer League. Let's recap the Raptors Summer League. The Raptors went 3-2 in the Summer League, missing the playoffs by 5 points. The Summer League record doesn't matter. What actually matters is individual performances and how they play within a team. First, let's talk about the biggest standouts in order. First, let's talk about Allen Graves, the headliner, the first round pedigree. His stat line was 16.8 points per game, 6.8 rebounds per game, 2.3 steals per game, and he shot 51% from the field. Wow. Personally, I think he's a lock for the roster already. The real question is, what will his role be, not his spot? I think Allen Graves proves himself that Raptors, did pick the right player at number 19. Yeah, based on what I've seen so far over the Summer League and even before what I learned before, and then him proving himself through the Summer League, I would say it's a great pick and the right pick actually. This gives the Raptors a lot of diverse and intriguing lineups. Obviously, he's going to be coming off the bench. He'll be in the second unit. But I think he fits playing with some of the starters as well. And he should play well with Scotty Barnes and CMB as well. Can't wait to see a lineup with the three of them in it. Based on what I've seen from the highlights and stuff, he's a really good player. Like, he's fitting in, he's basically, as people would say, like NBA ready. Like, he let the game come to him. He wasn't forcing it or anything like that. He let the game come to him. And he was basically like a stat sheet stuffer, like Scotty Barnes, Like, he's scoring, he's passing, he's rebounding, he's blocking shots, he's stealing, So, yeah, it's a really good pickup. I can see him being like a long-term part of the Raptors. Like, he really proved himself, and I really like the pick.
Okay.
Good job, GM. That was a really good pick. So, for sure, yeah, Allen Graves a lock to be on the roster for next season. And he should be a lock to be even long-term part of this team. So, yeah, man, so respect to the GM for making that move.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Yeah, man, I give you A+ for that pick.
Huh? So
now let's talk about the next player that stood out. Next player that stood out to me after Allen Graves would be Seth Lundy. He was the surprise. He was actually the leading scorer at 20 points per game. He also had the buzzer, shot block story. He also helped solving some of the roster's 3-point shooting problem from like last season, Like, as far as I see, like, he plays with good pace. He's not forcing anything, and he chooses his spots, like real good. He's a good player. Like, personally, yeah, I really like how he played. And the shots them that he knocked down, like those 3-point shots, he knocked down like some real big shots, some real big 3-point shots. And then that big shot block that he had to end that game to seal the victory. So yeah, I never knew about him before this. Based on what they say also, he's coming back from injury and stuff. So this is really good showing, especially the fact that he's coming off an injury and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like him, Yeah, so yeah, Seth Lundy was the second most standout to me.
Okay.
And it was a surprise, especially for me. I didn't know him,
So yeah,
he caused me to to know him now, Yeah, I like Seth Lundy. Let me know in the comments if you like him and what you think about him, Okay. Also, let me know in the comments what you think about Allen Graves and your opinion on what I said about him so far.
Okay.
So, you know what? Next, we're going to talk about the next big surprise. Not surprise, but the next main thing that we got from the Summer League. Like anything that could benefit the Raptors, Actually, we're not going to talk about just one person. We're going to talk about 2 persons. Might as well talk about both of them at the same time,
Okay.
So obviously we're talking about the 2 centers. 2 different paths to the same goal, We need some front court depth behind Jakob Pertl. We don't want CMB to be playing too much center all the time, you know.
That's
Or being a
right.
starting center and killing too much minutes at the center, you know. You don't want to exhaust him and get him injured and you have to do it all that heavy load.
ちょうどお預かりいたします。
CMB is truly a power forward that can play center. It's good to have like real centers behind Portal as well. The difference between the two centers is that Bittle has the perimeter skills versus Sharp with the rim protection. Sharp is actually even the defensive player of the year from the G League. So, you know, like he has done some stuff for himself. To compare and contrast who fits Rajakovic's system better. Personally, I would say Bittle is more ready out of the two. Sharp, I would say, need to put down maybe some more weight. But I really like that, you know, he's focused on the defensive end. No, so yeah, he's focused on the defensive end. He's not so much, he doesn't have so much of an impact on the offensive end. But yeah, he's on the defensive end, he definitely have an impact. Bittle does have a little impact on defensive end. He's known to block shots as well. But his main thing is on the offensive end. Like he could knock down threes. You know, he's basically a stretch big, which Raptors need in their system more time, you know. Based on how they're playing and the lack of shooting and stuff. So yeah, I think Bittle is a more ready player out of the two, you know. Yeah, I really like how Bittle play. Both of them, I like the impact that they have, you know. I really like the impact both of them had. They did well. Next person we're going to talk about, as we started out by saying 4 Raptors just made their case for a roster spot and 1 didn't. We're going to talk about the one that didn't, which is Chucky Hepburn. I know he has an injury history and he had some injury, didn't get to play out of the game, so would that affect him as well. And I know when it comes to 2-week contract, even injured players could lose their contract because of their injury, you know? So let's talk about the turn in the story. His reputation coming in and what went wrong. He shot like basically 23.8% from the field, 8.3% from 3. You know, and question whether this closes the door on him or just a small sample size. I say just a small sample size because the Raptors know what he is about. He's
Okay.
been in our system. Yeah. It's only been a year. I know I'm thinking it's like 2 years. Yeah, but he has proven himself that he is like a good project, you know. But based on what we have from the summer league and all the tough decisions we'll have to make, yeah, the summer league might impact him in a negative way. Not fully his fault, though he did play and he actually played good defense. So even that, yeah, even though we're saying that he kind of didn't live up to what we expected for the summer league, but his defense did stand out in the summer league.
Okay.
So he did play good defense, you know? Yeah, I wish him all the best. We'll see what happens when training camp starts. Okay. So you know what? Let's get to the verdict and roster projections. My call and who makes a 15-man roster, who gets a 2-way, and who's ticketed for the 905. Personally, it's gonna be tough because I think DeMar DeRozan should get one of those roster spots. Hopefully, I don't really know at the moment. Right now, like how many spots are open, whether it's 1 or 2, how it's gonna work, or if things have to be tweaked in order for it to work. But I would give DeRozan one spot, and I would give Bittle the other spot. You know, those are the 2 I would give like guaranteed contract. Obviously, DeRozan, you know, you get a minimum, but I would give Bittle a guaranteed contract.
Okay.
And he did play well. He showed that, you know, he could be helpful for the Raptors. So yeah, so Bittle will get that guaranteed contract. Woo! What I would do for the 2-way contracts, what I would do is I would give obviously our second rounder, Jaden Bradley. I would give him a 2-way contract, which he has already. So for the 905 would be like the starting point guard. So he has a 2-way. Then I would give Seth Lundy, even though Seth Lundy shows that he could get a guaranteed, but I'll probably give him the two-way to begin. So I would have Jaden Bradley at point guard, Seth Lundy, what he play, shooting guard or small forward. And then I would give the third two-way spot to Sharp.
Oh
Yeah, good
no!
to have him in the system, you know. Defensive player of the year for the G League. Why not see how far he could progress, you know?
Okay.
So yeah, that would be the three two-way contracts that I give out, you know. So the two-way contracts would go to Jaden Bradley, Lundy, and Sharp. Yeah. As far as the rest of the 905, I don't know what the roster is and what, but these are the players that did stand out, which they have already, I think they're already on the 905. Like, I'm not going to call the names at the moment, you know what they are. But there's some good guys that stand out. Yeah. So as far as 905, I'm not going to get too much into that.
Okay.
Yeah, so from the Raptors Summer League, I would say there's 4 players that really stand out to me that would make a case for themselves. Okay. Let me know in the comments what you think about these 4 players and also Chucky Hepburn and the other players that stood out as well, because there's like at least 2 or 3 other players that stood out. So let me know what you think about them and what case could be made for any of these players. Yeah, from the 4 players I like, as I said before, Allen Graves proved himself that he was the right pick at 19, and he's gonna get the guaranteed spot. So we don't have to worry about Allen Graves. And Seth Lundy, he made the case to get a guaranteed spot, but because I would want to get DeRozan, I would give Seth Lundy the two-way instead of a guaranteed spot.
Okay.
And Nate Bittle, I would give the guaranteed spot, give us to be our stretch big. And Sharp, I'll give the two-way to make him our center for the 905. Can use him in the season whenever possible. So yeah, it was a good showing at the Summer League. As I said, you know, it's not, Summer League don't really mean anything as far as standing wise. You know, the playoff, like, it's good, the experience, and good they get more games in, like you get to see more from the players, like if they made the playoffs and stuff like that. So that part of it I understand, it's really good. But at the end, the result don't mean anything. It's what means anything. What means the most is each player performance within a team concept, not just somebody trying to get, you know, numbers for himself, just patting his stats and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like how he actually plays with a team concept, you know. He has to be unselfish, when to take his shot, when to be unselfish and stuff like that. You know, like for instance with Jaden Bradley, the first 2 games, I think why he didn't play as well is because he was like forcing it. He was probably too excited and he just wanted to get going and show off. And sometimes when you're so excited, you either do great because you're so excited that you just want to prove yourself and you're on the right, or sometimes you're so excited that you want to do great that you end up not doing as good because you're forcing it and because you just want to get things done. But then the defense are playing you tougher than you expected, and then, you know, it just becomes a force game. But he actually, you know, did turn around in the end.
Okay.
You know, he really did well in the end. So, yeah, Jaden Bradley was good. I didn't talk much about him in this video, but actually, I was supposed to talk to him more than he would talk about Chucky Hepburn. But we don't need to talk about so much about the badge. Oh yeah, he didn't do too well in his first 2 games, but after that he started to like settle down and get into the groove of the NBA, like learning the NBA. So it's understandable, you know, a 50th pick coming from college and just getting accredited to the NBA. It's gonna take a while to get up to the NBA speed. So the 905 should help him big time with that. So yeah. Let me know what you think about Jaden Bradley as well in the comments. Yeah, I don't want to stretch this video too long. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this video and come back for more. This is just the beginning. Have a beautiful day. Let's go Raptors! Chet's gonna.
Wow!